Hello everyone, welcome back to another coding tutorial. Well, this isn't really a coding tutorial since I'm just going to be showing you how I created my face using CSS and HTML, but I thought it would be cool, so I'm going to show it to you guys. So if you guys are excited, let's start the video. So first I'm just going to get rid of this code, like always, and generate my boilerplate code. And now my face goes away. And I don't think I have to go too much in depth about what my face looks like since you already seen it from the thumbnail, but that's why. Anyways, let's get started. So I'll create a div and give it an ID of big container, and inside of this div I'm just going to give it a lot of space because things are about to get very confusing very quickly, so that's why. So the first div I'll create inside of this big div container is going to be my hair, so I'll give it a class of hair. And then underneath my hair, I'm going to give it a class, give another div a class of face. And inside of this div, I'm going to have my class of brows. So brows, that's going to be my eyebrows. You need to make some space so this doesn't look too confusing to you. I hope it isn't already confusing. Anyways, I'll create two more divs. So this will be class equals brow, and this will be my left eyebrow, so I'll just write left brow. And then this will be my right eyebrow, so this will be class equals brow, and this is going to be my right brow. And then underneath my brow, I'm going to create another div. First I need to make some space, give it a class of eyes, and inside of this eyes class, it's going to have a class of eye without an S, and then right eye. So we have to be extremely careful right here because it's very confusing with all the nested divs. And inside of my right eye, I'm going to go in between those two divs and create another div and give it a class of pupil. And this will be my right pupil. So right eye goes with right pupil. Or should I say right pupil goes with right eye. And then inside of the pupil, I need to create an iris. So div class equals iris. And this is my right iris. And now we just copy this down one more time for our left eye. So all we have to do is change all the word that says right to left. So let me make sure I'm copying this correctly. So this is the end tag of this one. And actually, yes. So this is the starting tag of that div, and the ending tag of this div right here is this, and the ending tag of this is this. So these two go together. So I can just copy this. No, just copy this right here and paste it down here, and then I can change this to left and change this to left as well. And now we are done with our eyes. So this is the end of our eyes class, right? Yes, okay, good. And then now I can go create my nose. So I just have to create a div and give it a class of nose, and give this div right here a class of mouth. And those are pretty simple since they aren't nested, and yeah, they aren't within each other like these. Like even I'm having trouble comprehending what all this says because I can't find the starting and ending divs. So just bear with me. I'm sorry if all this is confusing. Even I'm confused as well, but that's okay. Anyways, now we can create our ears. So I'll type div class equals ears, and obviously we have to create two more divs because I have two ears. Unless I lost one of my ears, then we'd be talking about a whole different situation here. And then this will have a class of ears as well. So ear I meant to say ear, not ears. And this will be our left ear. And then we can go create some more divs. So this will be class equals side left side. I think this was referring to our hair, like our hairline at the sides. And this is our side class as well. But this will say right side. And below those, I'm going to create two more divs. Class equals hair cover. And this is our left cover. And this is our hair cover for our right side. So hair cover, right cover. And to create my name with the glowing effects, I just have to do span data text. It's going to say Kenny, and then ID equals first name. And the reason why I typed data text was in case I might want to do some pseudo class effects, pseudo elements, not class. In case I want to do maybe like a reflection, then I'll need the data text. And within this span right here, I'm going to type my name, and I'll do a BR and create another span, give it a class of text, and this will be my last name, and the ID of it will be last name. And now we're done with the HTML. Woohoo! The hardest part is finally over. Now we can get started with CSS. A lot of CSS styles here. So we're talking about probably 100 or 200 lines of CSS styles. So bear with me. So the first thing I will do is style my background color, my browser, and give it a background color of #222. And then text align center. And for my face, I'm going to give it a background color of #E29E61. So that's going to be this yellowish color, skin color, I guess. And then I can give my face a height of 180 pixels, because you know how most faces, usually it's tall, the height is more than the width, so that's why I'm doing that. So the width is going to be 20 pixels less than the height. And the border radius of my face, I'm going to give it 100%, 100%, and 120%, 120%, and then position absolute, left 400 pixels, top 140 pixels. So now if we refresh, we have our potato shaped face. And there's my name right there. Then for my eyes, I'm going to give them a background color of white. So background color white with 40 pixels, height 19.2 pixels, margin 10 pixels, position at relative, and there we go, we have our eyes, rectangular shaped eyes. So now I look kind of like a robot. And then bottom 36 pixels, left 3 pixels, border radius 50%, and then overflow hidden. When we start creating our pupil and iris, they're going to overflow out of the eye, so that's why we want it to be hidden, so that it doesn't overlap with the face. And then for my right eye, I'll do dot right eye, and I'll move it to the left 90 pixels, 90 pixels, top 20 pixels, so it's going to move away from the top 20 pixels. Oh, and I think I have to zoom in a little bit or something. No, never mind. And then I can do dot left eye, position relative, bottom 10 pixels, and now we have our eyes positioned in the correct place. Or at least I think it's correct. It doesn't look right to me, but we'll fix it as we go. So now we have our brow class. I'm going to give my eyebrows a width of 40 pixels, height 6 pixels, border top 7 pixels solid black, border radius 80%. So now here we have our eyebrows, or mine, not yours. And then left brow. Oh, I should have capitalized the B. Left brow, position relative, top 43 pixels, left 14 pixels, and there we go, we have our eyebrow right there. And then for our right eyebrow, I'm going to give it a position of relative, and then left 101 pixels, top 31 pixels. And you know what? You notice how both of my eyebrows have a position of relative given to both of them? We can just do dot left brow, comma, dot right brow. And inside of this, I can do position relative. So now we can get rid of this, and that just saved us some typing. Saved us a few lines of code, and saved us a little bit of time, so that's good. And then for my pupil, and yeah, that's a trick you can do with CSS when you're writing repetitive lines of code. You can just select multiple elements, separate them by commas, and then give all of them the same properties. So, and then for my pupil, I'll give it a background color of RGB 43, 38, 38. I hope you guys are following along so far. And then my height will be 22 pixels. Border radius will be 50%. And now we have our eyes. It's not looking that bad so far. Starting to come to life. And then justify content, center. Align items, center. So what the pupil is centering is our iris, because our iris is within our pupil div, so it's the child of our pupil. The pupil div is the iris's parent element. It's basically justifying and aligning its children, which is the iris. And then after that, I can do position relative, bottom 1.5 pixels, transform, rotate 10 degrees, whoops, rotate 10 deg, just like that. And then now we can style our left pupil. I'll give it a position of relative, left 17 pixels. And for our right pupil, it will have a position of relative once again, and then left 15 pixels. And as you notice, once again, we applied the same style to two different elements. So we can just get rid of both of these two, and just do left pupil, and then right pupil, if I can spell it correctly, and just paste that in there. And there we go. Now we have our eyes positioned, our pupil positioned in the right place. And then for our iris, I'm going to give it a background color of black, because our eye, it isn't completely black. It's sort of like a really dark brown, but it's not black. So our iris will show up a little bit on it, because that's the color of my iris. Border radius 50%, so that will make it a circle with 6.4 pixels, height 6.4 pixels as well, box shadow, and now we can see our iris, it's right there. Box shadow, I'm going to give it 0.01 pixel white, so we can see it a little better. And then after that, under my iris, I'm going to style each of my iris individually. So left iris, position relative, and then left 2.3 pixels. And then for my ear, I'm going to give it a border radius of 0%, 70%, and then 50%, and 37% for the fourth value. And then height 50 pixels, width 25 pixels, background color hashtag E29E61. And if you guys have made it this far so far without skipping any parts of the video, I appreciate your patience, but I highly suggest you skip forward a little bit because we're probably going to spend the next 10 or 15 minutes just applying more CSS styles. So if you don't want to waste your time, I suggest you skip forward, but it's okay if you don't want to. It's your choice, but I'm just trying to save your time. I don't want to waste your time by making you watch this really long video. Anyways, now we can do right ear. So I'm going to style each of my ears individually. So this will have a position of relative. And you know what? Since this is going to have a position of relative, so will our left ear. So I can do dot left ear, give them both a position of relative. And then just for my right ear alone, I'm going to move it left 155 pixels. So now we have our ear dangling right here on the side of our cheek. And then bottom 73 pixels, border radius 0%, 70%, 50%, and 37%. So now let's take a look at how our face is looking so far. Not bad, not bad. Anyways, now I just have to transform it and rotate it 180 degrees on the y-axis, which is the vertical axis, which goes up and down. So I'll type rotate y, and I'll do 180 degrees. So now you'll notice that it rotated. And for my left ear, I'm going to do, not position because I did that already, bottom 128 pixels, right 17 pixels. Oh man, now that just looks really creepy. Okay, anyways, let's not focus on that. I just look like a pig without any nose. Anyways, I'll style my mouth, give it a width of 75 pixels, height 25 pixels, background color white, border radius 0%, 0%, 50%, 50%, and then a division sign, I guess, and then 0%, 0%, 100%, 100%. And if none of this makes sense to you, I'll explain it in my future videos once I start teaching border radius. But for now, let's just keep going. Transform, translate X, 57%, translate Y, negative 48%, which will move it down. And then I'll do top 30 pixels. Okay, that's a little better. And then box shadow 003 pixel white. Or let's see how it looks with black. Nah, let's just keep white. And then now I can style my nose. So I'll select my nose and then give it a width of 21 pixels, height 14 pixels. So the height is 2/3 of my nose. And as you notice, everything just shifted down, like my ears, they shifted down automatically. Then position relative. That's just what happens when you add stuff. And then left 62.5 pixels, bottom 8 pixels, border radius 00, 100%, 100%, border 2 pixels solid RGB, 83, 72, 24. And now we have our nose. And I'll do border top color transparent so that the top goes away. And now it actually looks like a nose, more like nose piercing. But obviously I don't pierce my nose. Anyways, once again we have a position relative for our nose and our mouth. So I can go add it right here. So this will be dot nose, dot mouth. Just get rid of this. and it should still work just fine. And same thing for our left and right pupil. Let's just add it here. So left pupil, right pupil. So now all the elements that I applied position relative to is in one selector. So that's that right there. And then I can style my hair now. And then background color black with 165.2 pixels, height 70 pixels, position relative. Okay, let's go add that up here also. So dot hair. So now we can do left 398 pixels, top 100 pixels, and now we have our hair. But it looks more like a hat, and I still look kind of bald, so let's fix that. We can do Z index. Let's just make it like a really large number, like 9,999, so that we can always know that it's going to be on top of our head. And then I can do border radius 0%, 0%, 50%, 50%, division sign 0%, 0%, 100%, 100%. And now let's flip this around so we can do transform, rotate 180 degrees, and now it flipped around. We just need to position it a little better because it still looks more like a cap than a hair. And then for the side, I'm going to do background color black, the same color as my hair, height 40 pixels, width 8 pixels, margin 10 pixels, border radius 0, 0, 20%, 0, 0, 20%, just like that. And then left side position relative. Okay, so I can add that up here. So that's our left side, and might as well do it for our right side as well. And now we can do left 388 pixels, top 88 pixels, and now it's right there. For our right side, we can just do 388 pixels down like that. I meant to the left. Then top 88 pixels. Now we can style our hair cover class. Give it a background color of black, width 9 pixels, height 9 pixels, margin 10 pixels, whoops, 10 pixels, just like that. And then Z index, a really large number again, well, not that large, but 21. That should be reassuring enough. And then for our left cover, it's going to have a position relative as well, so let's go add that up here. So left, oh man, I forgot something. Left cover dot right cover, and we can do left 392.15 pixels, and this will be bottom 16 pixels, transform 30 degrees, so rotate 30 degrees. For our right cover, it's going to be position relative, background color black, left 542 pixels, height 16 pixels, bottom 34 pixels, transform, rotate -26 degrees. And let's just get rid of position relative since we already applied it already, and get rid of this line right here as well, this empty line. And now we just have to style our span, so I'm going to give it a font family of Verdana. Font weight, it's going to be bold, so it shows up much more clear. And then font size will be 6 rem. Okay, that's probably too big, I think. No, it's not too big, never mind. Now we can do color white text shadow 004 pixels white, and we can copy this down a few times to give it a glow. So we'll keep this at 4 and change this to 10. This will be 40, and this will also have a position of relative, so let's go add it up here as well. And then we can style our first name, so it's an ID, so hashtag first name, bottom 270 pixels, so it's hashtag big container. Now I look like the annoying orange. And then I can do hashtag last name, hashtag first name. Okay, there we go. We got that positioned in the right place, and we should have given the text shadow blue. We should have made it blue instead. So blue right here. I'll make this blue as well. And this will be blue, so it stands out much better. And then for my first name, I give it a position, I'm at bottom 270 pixels. After that, I can do last name, right 160 pixels. And for my big container, it's going to move from the top 50 pixels and we're done. But for some reason our hair isn't positioned in the right place. I'm pretty sure this right here, this black line right here should be over here, so we can fix that. So it's called our, what is it, our right cover, I think. One way to find out is change the background color to a different color, maybe white. Yes, so I'm targeting the right element. Now all I have to do is move it left, probably 588 pixels or something like that. That was pretty close actually. Maybe 528, probably 540, and we have to move it back up. Okay, we went up too much, maybe 38, and move it to the left a little more, so maybe 546. Maybe move it back 2 pixels, and then I can move it down probably 40 pixels. So that covers this small gap right here. This right here, if you can see it. So I'll just move this down a little more, maybe 2 more pixels. Too much. 41. We're almost there, guys. Let's move it to the left, maybe 1 more pixel. Perfect. And actually, let's make the height 43 pixels. Oh no. Now we have to move this back up 36 pixels. And this is our left cover. I'm at our right cover, so I can move this bottom 3 pixels. Oh no, my bad. Maybe 38 pixels. And move it 540 pixels to the left. And maybe increase the height a little bit, maybe to 19. No, probably like that. 1 more pixel. Okay, that's pretty good. And let's make the height only 18 pixels instead. Because right now, even half a pixel can change how the image looks. So we have to be extremely precise here. And now we're done with this side, and we just have to work on our left side, which shouldn't be too hard. We just have to give the height maybe 5 more pixels, so this will turn to 14. And then I can move it away from the left maybe 2 pixels and make it not as wide. No, actually move it up 3 pixels. Move it to the left 1 more pixel. And for some reason now this isn't covering this spot right here, so we have to move this back also. So I can do, there's got to be an easier way of doing this. If you guys know CSS better than me, then comment down below what I should have done for the hair. So, because this is taking up a lot of time. So if you want to, you can just end the video right now. So, anyways, I have to move this up a little more, so maybe like that. Oh, that's pretty close. Maybe 540 pixels. Move this up maybe 2 more pixels, so 44. Make the height 19 pixels. Okay, perfect. That's good enough. And I'd say this is good enough, even though the name isn't aligned, like stacked on top of each other, but that's okay. This is good enough because I think I've bored you guys too much already. Anyways, if you watched this video until the end, I truly appreciate it a lot. I really appreciate your patience for being able to watch this video 40 minutes non-stop or something like that. I don't know how long the video is. Let's check. Almost 40 minutes. Wow. Anyways, if you guys enjoyed this video, please make sure to subscribe and like. And if you really like my channel a lot, then please go recommend my channel to other web developers or maybe other people who are just getting started with coding, because I teach you guys the basic of codings and the fundamentals, so you can start coding and building fun projects like this. Anyways, I hope you guys have a nice day, and I hope to see you again in my next video.